Hello everybody. Talk about how to resolve vectors, meaning how do we break these things apart, and we want to know what the different part of the components are. So anytime we have a component not going along the axes, but going off at an angle, we know there's a y and an x component. Granted, these things are not, this should be a right angle, but you get the drift. And so we usually, when we have a component, a vector, like this is 53 kilometers long, and we have a distance, or excuse me, have an angle or direction, and that's 48.7 north of west. So basically, again, I'm going to say this at the beginning of every lecture, is that we got compass rose. This is basically a little cross, so we put our angle directions on there: north, south, east, and west. West is the primary axis, and then we're north of that by 48.7 degrees. So we're going something like this. And it doesn't have to be exact. It's just relatively somewhere near the actual measurement. So we're looking for something going in the x direction or west and something going up y. So what we do is, I'm going to repeat this here, and this is going to be 53.0. We'll keep it in kilometers because there's no other units. We don't have to change. And it's 48.7 north of west. So what we have is that we're going to have two components. We're going to have an x component and a y component. And this is my vector of 53.0 kilometers. And this angle is going to be 48.7 because it's north of west. All right, so here's my x and here's my y. So how to do this now? Remember, when we're looking at trigonometry, the sine of an angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of the angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tangent is going to be opposite over adjacent, or sine divided by cosine. Now, I forgot to put the angle there. Now, if we do the inverse tan of opposite over adjacent, that will give me the angle. Inverse of sine over the opposite over the angle will give me opposite over hypotenuse. Sorry, give me the angle. And so forth with the cosine, the inverse of the cosine adjacent over hypotenuse will give me the angle. So what we're going to do is that we just want to know what x and y is, and folks, that's going to be easy. So remember, sine of the angle is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which is y, divided by 53.0. So 53.0 multiplied by both sides by 53. Got the sine of the angle, 48.7. Now give me my y. So 53 times sine of 48.7. I'm going to have my y value, it's going to be 39.8 kilometers. So this is the y component of this vector. Now, the x component is going to be adjacent, it's going to be the hypotenuse, which is 53, times cosine of 48.7. Remember, adjacent over hypotenuse. X is my adjacent, 53 is hypotenuse, so multiply both sides by 53. You're going to get an angle of 35 basically, 34.98. Round, you're going to get 35.0 kilometers. And there's my x and y. So my x component is going to be 35 kilometers. My y component is going to be 39.8. And together, they'll give me a component resultant of 53.0 kilometers at an angle of 48.7 degrees north of west. And this is how you solve this type of equation. So basically, I'm looking for the answers to be something to the left of here. This is how I want you to solve this. This is what I'm looking for on the test. Now, if you have any questions, please see me after school during Scott time or office hours. Thank you.